Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. Today I'm going to give you the annual ditch garden tour 2023 version. Alright, the new beginning of the tour is going to be right here. I planted this with purple lovegrass seed, about 2 weeks ago, possibly 3 weeks, and it's coming up real nicely. Kind of hard to weed, but we'll get that figured out as well. Yeah, actually I should stop this. I don't know exactly what I'm weeding. With purple lovegrass, normally, well, at least for me, I need to wait until it starts going to seed like this. Once you start getting the purple, anything that's not giving you purple seed is a weed, and you can safely yank it out. Yeah, this is not in its prime yet. It's going to be another couple weeks, but this will look gorgeous once it's in its prime. After this year, this entire strip from where I just planted through the hollyhocks all the way to the culvert pipe right there is all going to be purple lovegrass, and then I'll have a path along the espalier trees here, and the hollyhocks will not be coming back. I'm going to be cutting these out soon. Look at those seeds, they're just ready to drop. When I cut these out, I'm probably going to drop thousands of seeds, so it's going to be a nightmare getting rid of the hollyhocks. You could see all these little hollyhocks, they just constantly pop up, and I'll be dealing with that for years. All right, on to the main garden. We should probably look at this real quick. This is the buffalo grass that I planted here. Kind of hard to see, but it's all up, as well as the purslane. I got purslane growing everywhere. We'll have to get rid of that with some quinclorac at some point, but this is going to look just gorgeous right here as well. But it's not part of the ditch garden, so let's move on. I got to get rid of these hollyhocks as well. Hollyhocks are an early flower. I think they start flowering, late June, early July. You can see there's one there and one there as well, and they're pretty much completely spent. They'll put off a flower or two at the very top, but they're dropping seed that whole time, and you really got to get rid of them. This, what was this? I think this was a lily, and there's also bearded dragons in here, or not bearded dragons, bearded lilies. Those are all spent. Got the June grass right here, the brown stuff. This is rye, all that's rye, and it's kind of taken over the area. I may want to kill that back. I don't really know. That right there looks like purple lovegrass, but it doesn't have any seeds on it yet. The purple lovegrass has spread through all of the gardens, and it's gone down the road and around the corner down there, which is what I wanted. More June grass. I'm going to go through here and collect the seeds on this. This has spread all the way down the road as well. That right there, that grass, that's Blue Heaven, little blue stem. This is its second year, but I believe it was a 2-year-old plant to start with. So that's going to be doing really good next year. I didn't get in here and cut anything down or burn, and I really should have. So everything is kind of choked. This is a volunteer from last year's seed. I didn't put any seed in here this year except for this right here. That's a miniature zinnia, and I don't think I'm ever going to plant that again. That's about it. That's all you get for the flower. And I could plant coreopsis, which is that right there with the orange tinge around it, which looks a lot better, and it's native. I don't think the zinnias are native. So in the end, I'm going to try to get this all native grasses and flowers, but there's still a few plants in here that have reseeded themselves from earlier plantings. Nice sunflower. That back there is big blue stem. That will get, roughly 10 feet tall. And again, I didn't trim that back at the end of the year, and I should have, or in early spring. Not much in this area. I'm going to have to do something with this area. There's a lot of stuff that's reseeded. We have cosmos. There's a bunch of cosmos back there, and that'll be flowering. That's cosmos right there. That'll come up, and that'll flower in a couple weeks or so. We'll be having flowers all the way until even after the first frost. We got Gaillardia, Black-Eyed Susan, Brown-Eyed Susan, and native sunflowers in here. And they all have a similar look. This is Gaillardia, and where's the black? That's a Black-Eyed Susan right there. I don't see any Brown-Eyed Susan. Oh, actually, there's coneflower too. There's yellow coneflower in here, and all of them have that similar look. That's got to be a mutant right there. Is that odd? That's like a double. Holy moly. I'm going to have to collect the seeds from that. I've never seen that before. That's like the zinnias. You'll get the doubles. The stuff I used to plant, it's all like that. And if this is what a zinnia normally looks like, they're not very good looking. See, I need to get in here and get rid of this stuff. We got lamb's quarters in there and yellow foxtail. I've weeded it once, but I'm getting to the point where I'm trying to get this established so that I don't have to weed every year. And it's getting closer and closer every year. I didn't have to seed it this year, but I'm hoping that I don't have to do as much weeding next year. That little blue stem back there looks really nice. Nice color to it. That's another one right there. Hardly any color to that at all. That one's got nice color as well. I need to redefine the back of the garden. I was thinking of putting the greenhouse here. I haven't talked to my wife about it yet, but it's a good place for it. We don't have like any view from the windows that cover this area, so it would be kind of out of the way. And it would have dirt for the base, so we could actually grow stuff in the dirt if we wanted to. I don't know if this is a native sunflower or not. It kind of looks like it, but it has bigger flowers than the natives usually do. This right here is a weed. There's a bunch of them in there. And this is a cosmos. Another cosmos right there. Bachelor buttons. All of this stuff reseeded from last year. This is an annual. So are the cosmos. And so are the sunflowers. They all reseeded from last year. And I'm hoping that it does the same again next year. I pull out the milkweed. We have plenty of milkweed growing all over the place. We don't need it in the garden. Milkweed is very invasive. Yeah, got these big foxtail here. I should come through here. I'm so busy right now, though. Every year I collect the seeds. This is crimson clover. This amount of seeds right here will fill like a lunch bag completely full of seeds. And then if you watched my previous video, I went and tossed a whole bunch of these earlier this year. See, at this time of year, it's relatively easy to weed because a lot of the weed you see will be just one or two plants. All that came from that 2 foxtail. Purple lovegrass here, that was planted, and we got it on this side as well. This fleabane, that's a local weed, and I'm going to let that grow in here. I have no idea what that is right there. If that is a reseed from the annual seeds that I used to put in here, or if it's just something else. This is bird's foot trefoil. That's planted in the fields around here. That would be a weed. Don't really want that in the garden either. Big sunflower is fading. The birds go nuts on that. You'll see them hanging upside down, yanking seeds from it. The red-headed woodpeckers have taken all of the blueberries, and I'm just letting them. I really like red-headed woodpeckers, so I kind of want to encourage them to stick around. I think that's Indian grass back there. This is kind of a mess right here. Looks like a hollyhock trying to grow there. We'll have to get rid of that. We'll just snip it at the base. Big old sunflower that snapped and is going to grow laying on the ground now. Yeah, that's always the problem with sunflowers. Gets a little cleaner here. All that stuff growing down there is the zinnias. And like I said, you get this occasional gigantic yellow foxtail, and you really want to get this stuff out because it'll dump a million seeds, and it just gets worse and worse every year. Yeah, now I think this is a yellow coneflower, not a black-eyed Susan. I'm actually going to have to read up on the difference. That's the same plant back there. We have purple coneflower all over the place, but we also have this right here. None of the flowers you see is it. It's all those faded ones because it's an earlier coneflower. Those are pale purple coneflower, which were on the watch list in Wisconsin up until recently. They're not anymore, but they're not very common. So I'll collect the seeds from those. The normal purple coneflowers, those reproduce really easy, so I don't really collect the seeds on those unless I want to spread them throughout the land, which I'm probably going to do at the end of the year. This is Coreopsis. I used to collect the seed on this, but now I just let it drop where it may. Yeah, I definitely got to go through here. I just wish I had more time. I started all of that buffalo grass this year, and I'm working on a tiny house, and I have all of the land to take care of. I still have a bunch of trees down on the roads that I got to take care of in a couple days. That'll be an interesting video. Alright, we got purple lovegrass here as well. This was planted. Then we have side oats gramma. This is a beautiful plant when it's going to seed like this, when it's purple and red. Then as the seed ripens, the plant hangs over and the seeds hang to the side, which is why it's called side oats gramma. Well, I don't know why it's called gramma, but that's where it gets its side oats from. Purple lovegrass, I believe I planted a couple right here as well. Another big patch of side oats gramma, We'll walk quickly along the back side of the garden on the way back, but first we'll show you the more unruly part of the garden. This right here is, I believe this is silky rye. Well, actually this is probably silky rye, and this is Canadian rye. They look similar, but the silky rye is much more fluffy. This is definitely silky rye right here. And most of this stuff, that's all little blue stem, big blue stem, and Indian grass. And again, I planted no flowers in here this year. These are all seeds that either washed down from those gardens or were planted here last year. None of this stuff was planted here last year, so all of this stuff grew from last year. This is probably a native. Still doesn't look quite right, but I believe that is a native. Native sunflower. I'm going to collect some seeds along the road and toss those in here in the fall. We got native sunflowers growing all over around here. That right there, that purple plant, I have no idea what that is. I'm going to have to look that up. It's really interesting looking. And I'm hoping it's native. A lot of this stuff is just weeds that took over this year. But with any luck, we'll be able to get rid of a lot of the weeds. I believe that is a tiny little gaillardia. Oh, there's my cat. She likes to sleep in here, and she'll catch mice and stuff too, but she'll sleep in there, and she has tunnels going around the big grasses and stuff. Hi, big kitty. So this part right down here. Hi, big girl. So this part right here, I'm only going to do minimal maintenance on it. I'm going to toss seeds from native grasses and native flowers here and do a little bit of weeding. But other than that, this is going to be more low maintenance. And I'm going to see if I can establish a real nice native garden without doing a whole lot of work. I'm kind of tired of doing a whole lot of work. This is side oats gramma again, and I don't know if I planted that here. I don't think so, but I did throw side oats gramma seed in here this year, so we're going to get a bunch of this sooner or later. That's side oats gramma back there as well. Don't know what this is. Yeah, a lot of these weeds actually have nice looking flowers, so I'll have to identify the ugly weeds and just get rid of those. Like this. This is a non-native invasive. People think that this is Queen Anne's lace, but it's not. It's wild carrot. If it has that black spot in the middle, it's wild carrot, and it just takes an area over. So I'll have to control that as much as I can, and that kind of ends it. You could see a flower here and there, and they're growing in almost pure gravel, and the edge of the cliff goes right through here. So it's real thin soil with rock underneath it. So they start growing real little like that in the poor soil. Hi, kitty. Let me finish this up, kitty cat. Gets pretty ugly down here. Like I said, I'll have to do some minimal maintenance down here to get more flowers growing, but that's probably it. Well, I'll probably come through here and spray glyphosate in this area, especially on that side. Yeah, I'll probably go from that grass right there all the way down and then just seed that with something. Got a couple cone flowers in here, black-eyed Susan, and there's minimal flowers like that going all the way down the road, as well as purple love grass, but I don't think we're going to show those today. We'll go up the back side and wrap this video up. This cat's going to be following me and wanting me to pet her. Got a mulberry bush here. I have to get rid of that. See, you could see that I didn't cut this or burn it this year, and we have a lot of dead grass in the patch, and we really shouldn't. Kitty, let me finish. Kitty. This right here is probably bluegrass from the lawn. Couldn't tell you. That's big blue, or little blue stem. Little blue stem here, or no, that's Indian grass. Yeah, we got lots of rye in here. But originally when I planted this, I planted all little blue stem. This is little blue stem right here. And then later on, I added a little bit of big blue stem and Indian grass. That's big blue stem back there. Yeah, this looks so much better if you burn it every year. Or at least go in with a saw blade on a weed whacker and cut it all down at the end of the year or the beginning of the year, one or the other. Yeah, the little blue stem has some really nice color this year, but that could be because we've been having a drought. This is the worst that this patch has looked ever. Yeah, it's never been yellow like this in the middle of the year, and I think a lot of that has to do with last year's stuff laying down like that, and the drought doesn't help either. But the native grasses are really resistant to drought because they have massive roots. Big blue stem has 10-foot deep or 12-foot deep roots, and the little blue stem, their roots will go down 6 to 8 feet. Yeah, they have insane roots on them. Okay, the back of the main garden. Yeah, this is witch's broom right here. Don't want that going to seed. More witch's broom. That was sprayed though. Hi, kitty. She's going to keep going in front of me, and she'll climb stuff and try to jump on my shoulders. She's a very persistent cat. Yeah, I know. Hollyhock, got to get rid of that. Yeah, it definitely does look unruly, but that's kind of the look I'm going for. A little less than this though. This is Prairie dropseed. I probably should have planted all of that out in the front, and next year I will be planting a lot more of the short native grasses to try to get rid of some of these weeds. Once you got a nice thick growth, the weeds don't have a chance. Yeah, that was sprayed. And we got a bunch of volunteers back in here. That is a bramble, but it's got some nice pickers on it. Yeah, you can see how this little blue stem with all of last year's stuff on it, it just does not look good. Giant foxtail. I should have a little bit more time for the garden next year, but all in all, for a natural garden, it's looking pretty good. These are the stargazers. It's like my favorite smell from a plant. Got some over here as well. And a milkweed growing up in it. I have to get rid of these. They have rhizomes, so they're real hard to get rid of. And we are just about done. Got a couple more prairie dropseed. Lots of seeds on this stuff. I'm gonna have to collect that. And a few weeds in here. Another volunteer. Wisteria, don't get much out of that. And that's about it. So, like I said, next year I'm going to be planting some more native grasses, short native grasses, down in the front and down in the bottom where I used to plant the annuals every year. And all I'm going to do is an occasional weeding. And I'm hoping this naturalizes, which it's doing really well already. I'm hoping it naturalizes all the way down to the dry lot down there. And I'm hoping to not have any maintenance except for burning and yanking the occasional weed every year. I'll be doing an update on that purple love grass that I planted from seed, as well as all of the native grasses in here, which don't look really spectacular until the beginning of fall. So once these start looking great, I'll give you an update on both of them. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching and have a great day.